I welcome back Bryan Caplan of Bryan Caplan Marketing. Bryan's a speaker with Google in the US who loves a good cup of Tim Hortons coffee and has a strong passion for helping small business elevate their digital presence. Welcoming back Bryan Caplan of Bryan Caplan Marketing on Small Talk. I'm your host, Javed Khan. Bryan Caplan of Bryan Caplan Marketing, welcome back to Small Talk.
Javed, thanks for having me again. I feel like I just saw you.
Yeah, we had Bryan on previously, and at that time, in that segment, if you haven't watched it, go back, and we were talking about social proof. We just started briefly into a conversation of online reviews, very brief, and that's where we want to continue today. We want to really talk about this power of online reviews, and you folks who are watching the segment and being an entrepreneur, small business owner, even at a large, medium, large organization, online reviews, according to Bryan, is I'm going to suggest it's a mandatory, it's a must to get that. And he connects that in our last segment we had. He connected it with social proofing. So Bryan, talk to us about this power of online review and sure. where is it today, and where do you think this thing is going to go moving forward?
Yeah, and let's look at where it was, where it is, and where it's going, right? Where it was when I started my career in digital marketing, the company that I worked for was a startup, and our whole thing was about collecting digital reviews. I was a smile and dialer. I was making 100 calls a day trying to convince small business owners that they had to collect online reviews with us. Most of them would hang up the phone because they wanted nothing to do with reviews. If anything, the question I got was, how do I hide my reviews, or how do I turn off my listing? You can't anymore. So if you have a consumer that's working with your business, now they can leave a review no matter what. The big thing is, as a small business owner, it's your responsibility, and really as a marketer, it's your best practice to claim your listings and make sure that you're managing your reviews and promoting them in kind. So now we're seeing small business owners are grabbing those reviews and they're using them. It's an asset now because of that social proof we talked about.
So so folks, again, if you want to understand what this whole social proofing is, go to our previous segment that we had when Bryan was on our show. Just briefly watch that before you continue the conversation here with us. Let me just go back real quick. You mentioned about online reviews, and previously people were asking you primarily, hey, Bryan, how do I get rid of some of these reviews? You're now suggesting those days are gone. You really can't. You got a negative review. Would I be fair to say it's impossible to get rid of a negative review, or how do you do that if that is a possibility?
You know what I liken it to? Credit report. You miss a payment, or let's say that you overextend yourself or whatever, that lives on your credit report and it takes a while to go away. With online reviews, if a consumer had a negative experience with you, they write a review and it's negative 1 to 3 stars, it lives in perpetuity. What you can do as a small business owner is respond to that review. And Javed, in the notes for the show, if you wouldn't mind, I wrote an article for GoDaddy about the 3 Ps of review response. So that's positivity, it's promptness, which means really responding within 24 to 48 hours, and it's professionalism. So you want to be positive, smile when you write it. Look in a mirror when you write it because you want to be positive. You want that positivity to emanate in your response. Promptness, obviously, the more prompt you are, the more you're nipping it in the bud or resolving it. And professionalism, pretend that this person is coming up to you in your place of business. You're surrounded by customers. And how are you going to respond to make sure that those customers feel like you are a professional and you're handling them with care?
We will definitely have that link to to your article, Bryan. Thank you for that. So let's just recap here. There's a few things that so it sounds like the first thing you want to do when it comes to reviews is, if you do get, unfortunately, one of those negative, quote unquote, negative reviews, respond with a smile. And would we also say embrace it rather than ignore it?
You have to embrace it, because here's the thing. The 4th P of review response is picking up the phone. And really, if you can pick up the phone and you can connect with that customer, sometimes you're not going to be able to rationalize. And that just happens. That's how people are. But if you can actually rectify the situation, resolve that dispute, and try to get that customer won back as a positive customer, they may actually take the review down or change it to a positive and make an update saying, hey, the business owner called me because they value my business. they wanted to do something about it.
And on the flip side, I find that there's a lot of organizations who tend to just ignore these reviews. You know, if they get a review, they just ignore it. Clearly not the thing you want to do, Bryan, correct?
You can't, because over 50% of consumers are going to look at those negative reviews. That's how they're going to tell if they're going to maybe have a negative experience. Again, goes into social proof. How many people actually did not have a good experience with you, and how many people did you not respond to, or did you respond negatively or abrasively? Is that going to translate into my experience? And then do I want to give you my money?
And that falls to that whole brand equity, brand image, brand experience. That all falls to that whole concept of customer experience.
Exactly.
If I'm reading a review and it's favorable, then for me as a human being, I want to have that experience. If I'm seeing everyone's having a great time at your business, I want to go and have a great time at your business.
And here's one for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about social proof before, but I'll tell you something. According to the stats, 88% of people are going to trust a review as much as they would a recommendation from a friend or family member. Perfect stranger. But 9 out of 10 people are trusting that review. So it's all how you handle the review as a small business owner. Can't sweep it under the rug. Got to handle it. Got to do something about it.
So those individuals who are watching this show, Bryan's information's on the screen. He is a national trainer for Google. It's Google My Business.
Google Get Your Business Online. Very close.
There you go. Google Get Your Business Online. He is a speaker that's traveling all across the United States. If you're in the U.S. and you want to really have more information from Bryan, please reach out to him. His contact information is there. He is also a national speaker. So please, if you, not only when you contact him, you want to retain him and bring him on to a conference or a trade show or whatever it is, webinar, he's the guy that you want to bring out. Now, Bryan, the other question, one of the last questions is, when it comes to Google reviews or just reviews in general, audience members are watching this. What are the top 3 things they should think about to implement right away, right after they watch this segment?
You have to proactively solicit reviews. So go and ask. And there are different ways to ask. There are tools out there that you can use to solicit reviews, but ask and get reviews. The other thing is distribute your reviews. So as much as Google reviews are important, there's also Facebook reviews. There's Foursquare reviews, Better Business Bureau. There's Angie's List and all these other directory sites, City Search. So you want to look at the review sites that make sense for your industry and start collecting reviews around your industry. And finally, respond to the reviews. If they're positive, there's a way to respond to them and actually get some SEO value. If they're negative, there's a way to respond to them to calm the storm and also detract from SEO so that your business is not really tied to a negative review, or try to minimize or mitigate as much as you can.
Wow, some great insight, folks. Again, if you are watching this through the video version of Small Talk, Bryan's contact information has been on the screen. If you've been listening to this as part of the audio podcast, just go to the session description. You'll see his contact information there with the link to the article on both sides. So Bryan, once again, thank you very much for coming on Small Talk once again, and really appreciate it. And folks, please reach out to Bryan, and we'll see, maybe we'll get him on the show once again.
Once again, eh? Sounds good, bud.
Okay, take care.
Thanks.
Thank you to Bryan Caplan of Bryan Caplan Marketing for joining me on Small Talk. You can also listen to the show as part of our podcast series. Now it's your turn. Please comment, subscribe, and share. If you've got a topic you'd like to discuss on the show, please give me a call or send me an email. We'll talk with you next time.